Welcome to the Reader's Guide for Fix Your Broken Sales Calls. I'm Erin Fults, Director of Strategy and Training here at BridgeSelling, and I'm joined by author and creator of the BridgeSelling Framework, Jonny Holsten. Jonny, glad to be here with you today.
Same here, Erin. This will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so these conversations are designed to just dive deeper into the content of the book more than you can get into in the context of just the written word on the page. And so we hope that you find these conversations and added content really helpful and valuable as you learn and dive into the BridgeSelling Framework. All right, Jonny, ready to dive in?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go. So in How to Fix Your Broken Sales Calls, you make it really clear that this book is not only for large companies with large teams. So for the business owner who's reading or listening to this and thinking, do I really need a system for my sales or for my sales calls? What would you say to them?
Yes, you absolutely do. And I think it's the day that you get product market fit is the day you need to really start thinking about building out that system. And so if you're tinkering with what you're selling or who you're selling to, you should always be trying to systematize and be really efficient with your sales process, no matter what. But until you can really know what exactly your offer is and who exactly you're selling it to, it's gonna be hard to do that. So the main thing to think through is it doesn't matter what size of the company you are. You could be a solopreneur doing a couple $100,000 a year, or you could be a small business that just hit 7 figures and have the same exact struggles as the multi-million dollar, $100 million company that as long as you both have product market fit, you're gonna have the same challenges. And so start that system immediately.
Yeah. Well, and you have worked with highly funded startups, you've worked with scrappy startups, you've worked with Fortune 500 brands and kind of everything in between. Mm-hmm. In your experience, what patterns did you see that led you to creating this framework and seeing the need for a framework like this in the context of how sales teams operate?
Yeah, well, I saw the same things everywhere, and it didn't really matter if it was a small business home service company or a worldwide brand that everyone would recognize that's doing hundreds of millions. It didn't matter where you were in that spectrum. I saw time and time again, companies had no structured game plan and no agreed upon strategy for their sales calls. They may have had some methodologies here and there, some best practices they would aim for, but they didn't have a committed and commitment towards a game plan, which is really what led to the creation of this. On top of that, because of those two issues, there was no standard to reach and nothing to hold team members accountable for or even grade the sales process on. And so noticing that, oh my goodness, the same, small mom and pop has the same struggles as another brand that everyone might recognize that's on the Fortune 500 list. It's the same stuff that happens over and over again.
Yeah. Well, one of the actual central promises of the book is that you're going to help leaders measure the quality of their sales conversations. But we see often that companies still are relying on gut feel to measure the quality of a conversation. Why do you think that's true? Why are they still relying on gut feel instead of this objective scoring measure or scoring rubric?
Well, if you don't have a game plan for your sales calls, whatever you call that in your company, whether it's a discovery call or a demo or an intro consult or a quote unquote free strategy session or whatever you might call it in your organization, if there's no game plan, there's no way to score it off of. And if there's no way to score a conversation, then you're really left with nothing but gut feeling or lag measures to think through and to use. So if you don't know how you're scoring and how you're going about that conversation and thinking about it and grading it, then all you have is what feeling you had at the end of the conversation or what the pipeline metrics are telling you after the fact. So you can't have a better way to go about it until you get that right.
Yeah. Well, one of the concepts you talk about is this idea of revenue hiding in plain sight, right? And that is because of what you just described, they're relying on gut feel. Can you unpack what that idea of revenue hiding in plain sight really means and why it's the conversation, it's not lead flow, it's not the product even, but why the conversation is the problem to be solved or the thing to be addressed for a sales team really to see the kind of impact and increase in results that they're going after?
Yeah, the revenue in plain sight idea is really the same product. If you keep your same product, your same sales team, and your same lead flow, How much more revenue could you win simply by being better in your sales conversations and by executing more effectively with a higher level of detail and a more personalized strategy for your company? A lot of organizations or small businesses or anywhere in the spectrum will look and say, well, if we want to grow sales, we either need to pour more into marketing or we need to grow the size of our team. And both of those assumptions make sense, right? We either pour more into marketing or we have more people doing selling or a combination of both. But my challenge is, unless your close rate is super high, you should be looking to uncover the revenue right under your nose, which is don't change your product, don't change your lead flow, don't change your team, just tweak the way you go about your conversations and you could have the same results just by doing that as you might by quadrupling your marketing budget.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to dive into that. And as readers keep going through this series, they're going to learn more about what that looks like practically. So let's head into chapter 1, where we're going to uncover and talk through what are the biggest challenges sales leaders face today. Let's go.
All right.